First thing I want to do is let the record reflect that this meeting was posted as required by the Texas Open Meetings Act, and we do have a quorum present tonight. And at this time, I'd like everyone to take a moment of silence, if you would, please. Okay, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Strubhart to come forward and introduce our Pledge of Allegiance tonight.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight's pledge will be led by Saraí Rodriguez. Ms. Rodriguez is a 5th grade student at Crockett Elementary. She is currently serving as Crockett's Student Council President and is involved in the Safety Patrol, Chess Club, and UIL, where she placed 3rd in oral reading. Saraí is also a member of the 4-H Club and the Harlingen High School FFA Club. She enjoys hobbies such as showing animals at the livestock show, playing soccer, basketball, and sometimes playing football with the boys. Along with these hobbies, she is also an avid reader and loves to ride horses in her spare time. I don't know where she gets her spare time. Saraí plans to pursue an agricultural science degree at Texas A&M Kingsville in hopes of becoming a veterinarian. Ladies and gentlemen, Saraí Rodriguez.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Okay, the next item is recognition of Greg Powers for his service as board president. Dr. Cavazos.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, staff, and community members. Our district has been fortunate this past year to continue our advancement of public education and have our work recognized at the state and national level. It could not have been possible without the outstanding leadership our Board of Trustees provides on a daily basis. This year, our board has been led by none other than our president, Mr. Greg Powers. Mr. Powers, we are very appreciative of your effective leadership this past year. As an attorney, you bring over 30 years of legal experience and knowledge to our HCISD Board of Trustees. And as a former HCISD student, you have a genuine interest in the success of our teachers and our students. And Mr. Powers also celebrates the successful attempt at the bar for his son, Steve Powers, that was sworn in as an attorney this weekend. So let's give him a big hand. He has another attorney in the house. Mr. Powers, your involvement in our community also provides our district with additional opportunities to remain connected with our community. When trying to make progress, a collaborative effort between district and community will always allow for transformation to occur in a faster and more efficient manner. I want to thank you as the superintendent of schools and on behalf of my staff and the community and your fellow board members for your efforts in helping us create world-class campuses and programs on behalf of our 18,620 students. Your outstanding leadership and dedication to our community has and will continue to propel us toward global achievement for all our students at HCISD. Mr. Powers, thank you for leading us as the board president, and we do have a token of our appreciation so that you don't take the gavel. No, just kidding. So Mr. Strubhart, I think we have a nice picture. You have one here, sir. So,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Cavazos. This has been a wonderful year. I've really enjoyed it, and the reason it's been a wonderful year and an enjoyable year is because of the board that I work with. And I'm not saying this just to say it, because it really is true. This board is made up of people that really, really care about this community and care about the education that our children receive. It's a very diverse board. Everybody brings different knowledge and different perspective to the table. And we don't always agree, but we always respect each other's views, and we always come out with respect for each other, and always voting for the best interest of the kids. One of the things I'm the proudest of this year is, and it's not my accomplishment, it's the board as a whole, and it's the staff, the superintendent and the staff and the teachers that are here tonight. This board and this school district, HEB every year has a program where they devote significant time and assets to recognizing the best teachers in the state, the best school board in the state, and the best school district in the state. And I'm extremely proud, and I know every board member here tonight is extremely proud. We were one of the 5 finalists as a board and as a school district in the entire state of Texas. One of our elementary teachers was one of the 5 top elementary teachers in the entire state of Texas. I'll tell you a funny thing that we were there just a week ago last night, Sunday night in Austin for the awards. And we competed, one of the school districts that competed against us and actually beat us, they shouldn't have, but was Arlington. And they parade us across the stage. I was representing our district, being the president, and we go across the stage and we go down to the bottom, and then they announce the winner, kind of like the Academy Awards, and the winner is, and they said Arlington, but it sounded like Harlingen. I mean, I was up, I was ready to give my speech, and somebody said, But anyway, and it was Dr. Cavazos' brother, who's the superintendent of Arlington, that won the
So he's been removed from the Christmas list and the Christmas. You can edit that, okay.
But anyway, I'll try to shorten this, but I want to thank the board very much for working with all of y'all. Has been a pleasure. The leadership that's here, from the experience that exists on this board, and particularly Dr. Cavazos, to your staff, Dr. Noyola, Mrs. Vargas, Shane Strubhart, who is amazing. He runs our TV station. He runs all the PR for the district. He makes us look good. Mr. Tapia, who is the best director of physical facilities anywhere that you can ever have. And we have the most outstanding financial director that any school district could have. That's why we're so sound. So anyway, thank you all very much. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Mr. Powers. May I speak for just a moment, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to say personally how much we appreciate your leadership. We could talk for a very long time, Greg, about all of your talents and your gifts. But I would like particularly to thank you for your demeanor, for the respect that you have given all of us, the calm assurance of things being done well and thoughtfully, I think has lent a credibility to this board throughout the region and throughout the state. And I just want to thank you. It has been a delight to serve with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next item is the issuance of certificates of our recent election that we were able to bypass.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Powers, board members, audience, and staff. Agenda item number 3 is the issuance of the certificate of election for each new trustee. Section 2.053E of the Election Code states a certificate of election shall be issued to each candidate. Tonight, Mr. Powers will be issuing those certificates present to Mr. McShann and Dr. Nolan Perez. Dr. Bobby Muniz had a prior engagement, but he will also be receiving his certificate.
This time, Mr. McShann. Your certificate of congratulations.
Thank you so very much.
And Dr. Nolan Pettis. Then the next item on the agenda is the oath of office.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, board members, staff, and audience. Agenda item number 4 is the oath of office, and we are privileged to have our district court judge, Dan Sanchez, a friend of HCISD and alumni of HCISD, David, to administer the oath of office to our newly elected school board members. I got confused because your twin brother is there with you, and so thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Judge, if you can come forward, and board members, if you can come to the lectern to be sworn in.
All right. Well, it's a privilege and an honor, but before I get started, where are the students that are being recognized? Are they all on this side? Okay, well, forgive me for giving y'all my back, but what I like to say to y'all briefly, and I don't know if I'm allowed or not, but just very briefly.
You're the judge.
Very briefly, I'd like to say, if you look at the people up here, they were sitting in y'all's chairs a few years ago, and they're leaders, and they're sitting here now. They went off, got educated, came back, and here they are serving. And so I challenge y'all, because y'all are the best of the best. And a lot of people go off, get educated, and stay away. They don't come back home to where we grew up. And so, it's kind of known as the brain drain. And a lot of our smart youth leave here, go get educated, and then find somewhere else to live and make that their permanent home. But I challenge you to come back and be tomorrow's leaders so that y'all can be sitting up here making the best decisions for the community that's out here. Okay? Think about that as you spend your next 4 to 12, 13 years getting educated. All right? Okay. Thank you. Dearly beloved, we are oh, wait. See, you're not the only funny one, Dr. Cavazos.
Notice Dr. Perez got nervous. Go ahead.
Dr. Cavazos. Dr. Cavazos. It's interesting, but you don't need rings. But you do need a law, and right now the state doesn't have that law, so don't worry about it. No, it's Dr. Cavazos and I have something in common, quite a few things actually, but both of us have brothers that are elected officials. Mine is my twin brother back there, Dan, who's your county commissioner. And thanks to Dan, I'm actually wearing a robe here today because, see, before he was county commissioner, he was a justice of the peace, and he made sure that kids stayed in school when he fulfilled that role. But I forgot my robe at the courthouse in Brownsville. Luckily, he lends me his robe, and I kind of keep it at home as a backup. Well, today the backup works, so it worked out great. But our thing in common is Dr. Cavazos has a brother who recently was elected mayor of the metropolitan area of Los Indios, Texas. Population 500.
That's right.
Hey, y'all laugh. You laugh, but if you think about it, Los Indios, population 500, produced, 3 superintendents?
That's right.
A county commissioner and a state judge, which isn't too bad for a little 500 population town, right? Not bad. So anyway, let's get to what we're here for, and it's my honor and privilege. Dr. McShann's been here serving for years. He now is responsible for helping a lot of school boards throughout the state fill their positions, their posts, and so he helps hire superintendents, and he does an outstanding job, and we're very blessed to have you serving. And Dr. Nolan Perez, what can I say? If you want somebody to try to idolize and, be the person you want to beat in this world, this is the guy. I've known him for a few years, and you know, I get tired running, chasing him, trying to just catch up because he does so many wonderful things for the community. So it's my privilege and my honor, actually, to be able to be here today and celebrate this with y'all. So I guess we'll start. Raise your right hand. And I don't know if you want family to come up with you or just individually. Is that fine? All right. Why don't you?
I, George McShann, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duty of the office of trustee of the Harlingen CISD in the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
I, Nolan Bettis, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee for Harlingen CISD of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. And hook and horns. Yes, picture, Judge.
Okay. Well, why don't we stand in front of the podium so?
Shake.
Okay, so we reorganized the board, and now we're switching places.
And you'll stand up and take the seat. You can sit in this seat temporarily. We're only gonna move one of the officers. Congratulations to your brother. 191 to 60.
I will email him.
I heard the board was fighting, is that true?
Yes, that's my daughter, yes.
All right.
Mr. President, before you
Yes, sir.
go on,
Dr. Petty.
a couple of comments. First of all, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the judge for blessing us with his presence. You know, this is integrity and that walks in the room when you have him and his brother here. So appreciate your taking your time to do this. And they're great friends, pillars of the community, great leaders, and among the best jurists in this area in the state, if I might add. Very fair. If you talk to anybody from people that have to go before his court or potential jury members, attorneys on both sides, you will find that everybody thinks that he's very fair, always prepared, and just a very competent and amazing jurist. So appreciate you being here. Thanks for swearing us in. And I also have a lot of family here, so
Won't you recognize your family?
please recognize. I like to recognize my family. First of all, I'm parents. I wouldn't be here, obviously, if it weren't for my parents. They sacrificed a lot. I think Judge alluded how many years I was at it. I forget how many it is, 14 or 15 or whatever, but I wouldn't have the opportunity were it not for their sacrifices. So that's my father, Eddie Pettis. Please stand up, and my mom, Nidia Pettis. My mother was an educator herself, still is, as a matter of fact. She retired, but still finds time to substitute teach and everything else. So I get my passion in education largely from my mom. So, and of course my beautiful wife Sandy, she's here. Please stand up, say hello. She doesn't like the attention. She's like, but let me tell you that I work a lot of long hours as a doctor, but yet she still allows me to serve in this public capacity as a volunteer in the school board. So everything I do is for you and the family, and I stand on your shoulders to be able to do this. You should be up here, not me. She's another educator. She's a counselor. Now she's a businesswoman, runs my several businesses, but she's amazing. So I love you, love of my life. Thank you for being here. I have some other. I have other family member here. We and our daughter. Where's Natalie? I can't even see Natalie.
There she is.
Natalie. So, Natalie, please stand up. You can see she's too much like her dad. That's kind of scary. It scares me. And then we have I would say adopted daughters, but really I would like to think we're not old enough to be your father and mom yet. But so we're like they're like our sisters. I would say younger sisters. So Maria and Carmen, they're like family. Thank you all for being here. Early college, high school graduates. And then Catalina, a recent addition to our family of sorts. Catalina and her husband Charlie Crockett. Catalina's a South graduate, and she's a Johns Hopkins graduate. And now she runs my wellness center and my clinical research company. So, Catalina, thank you for being here. And by the way, Dr. Cavazos wants to be more involved in education. Maybe you can get Shane to put her to work at the high schools and talk to students and things like that. So, you don't have too many Johns Hopkins graduates here. So, and her husband Charlie actually has a couple of records on our aquatic center. So, Charlie, thanks for being here.
Charlie, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
well, thank you all very much, and look forward to service with you another 3 years. So.
Okay.
Mr. McShane?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Certainly, it's an honor, the Honorable District Judge David Sanchez for swearing us in. We really appreciate that. And the Sanchez brothers are graduates of Harlingen CISD. So you can see, students, what can happen, right? Great role models. I'll be very brief. This starts my 28th year on the school board. Oh, my goodness. And as I reflect, I said, Charlie, okay, gee, I know your parents, everybody, a lot of folks out here. There's a lot of history. I simply want to say to you that we're so proud to be public servants for the most important elected position in this country, and that's the school board, because you're closest to the people, because the students are the pride and joy of their parents, and we do our very best to make sure that you're prepared for the future. Talking about global achievement in the world, that's what we're preparing you for. I simply want to say that I have so much to be proud of when I think about what we've done in the last almost 3 decades here in this district. But the addition of Dr. Nolan Pettis, who came on this board about 4 years ago.
Almost five.
5 years, it didn't seem like it. But I'm glad to see the torch being passed, because I told these folks I can't be here forever. Okay? And Dr. Muniz, Bobby Muniz, who couldn't be here tonight because of a family engagement that he had to be part of. These are young people on the board, well-educated, well-respected. So this board is in a very, very, very good position, I can tell you that. Again, I want to thank all of you and appreciate the fact that you've given me the honor to serve all these years. Thank you so very much.
Okay. Judge, thank you. Commissioner, thank you very much for being here tonight. Special honor. Thank you. At this time we've been waiting for, we will reorganize the board. Mr. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item number 5 is the reorganization of the board. The board is familiar with the process. First, we elect a new president, then the new president takes over the meeting, then a new vice president is elected, and then a new secretary. Mr. Powers?
Floor is now open for nominations.
Mr. President, I nominate Dr. Nolan Pettis for the position of President of the Board of Trustees for Harlingen CISD.
Second it.
Been moved by Mr. McShann, seconded by Mr. De Leon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Carries unanimously. Congratulations.
Mr. Powers, thank you for your service. Thanks for leaving me the gavel.
It was hard.
We've been arguing about that for a couple of days now, but anyway, no, I'm kidding. Well, anyway, just real briefly, it just gives me great honor to serve in this capacity. You see the level of talent and commitment and passion to serve the community and to serve the students and the parents in this community, the taxpayers. We have an amazing board. Mr. Powers alluded to some of the things that we've done collectively together as a team of 8. I think probably the most important thing we've done is hire this guy to my right. He is the trailblazer in public education, and I tell you, the best superintendent by far in the state, so it's really an honor to serve with him. And we collectively have done a lot of great things together, not only hire him, but the bond in 2010. I came on the board just after that, so I can't take any credit, although I voted for it.
All right.
So I can take some credit. But I also will tell you that probably aside from hiring Dr. Cavazos, the most important thing that we're doing together now is to see to it that the strategic plan that we've just recently put together, it's been over a year now, and thanks to Dr. Cavazos, that we will have fidelity and integrity to that plan. Amazing work is coming out. We've already seen a big return on investment, not only from the 2010 bond, but from what the work that his 8 design teams are doing to reshape the delivery of public education in every classroom, to inspire all students for enormous success in their post-secondary or in their careers and whatever they want to do. So again, kudos to you, Dr. Cavazos, for really setting the tone and for bringing the team together. But Anyway, it gives me great pleasure, and I thank the board for this confidence and allowing me to serve as president. So thank you all very much. So with that, we'll open the floor to nominations for vice president.
I would like to nominate Mrs. Verna Young for vice president.
I second the nomination.
So we have a motion for nominate Mrs. Verna Young for vice president, and any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Mrs. Young. We'll now open the floor to nominations for secretary.
Make a motion for Jerry Fleury to be secretary of the board.
I second.
A motion for Mrs. Jerry Fleury to be secretary. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Same. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. Okay, no problem. We're going to seat swap here for a second.
You know, while we're waiting, Mr. President, I just want to say that you did such a moving speech that I think I'm going to leave early today and go give my wife a hug because I've.
Well, I will tell this on camera. I hope Dr. Maldonado won't get a copy of this recording, but I learned that from Dr. Maldonado. I think there was a couple of occasions where he was giving speeches and he forgot to mention his wife and had to go back on stage. And so
Yeah, he slept in a hotel for 3 days. With us.
Yeah. I can assure you, I've seen him at work. He's a chancellor now of Houston Community College, and Dr. Maldonado does not forget to mention his wife. It's the first and the last thing he talks about. So. Okay, well, congratulations to everyone. We'll go on now to our next item on the agenda, appointment of board members to sign checks. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Dr. Pettis, Dr. Cavazos, board members. All checks written by the districts have 2 signatures, the board president and myself. Since we have a new president, that we need to get a new signature plate. We're asking the board to allow us to use the old signature plates for until we get the new plates, and that should take about 3 weeks. So this requires action item.
Okie doke.
President, I move authorization for the signature checks.
Mr. Shan.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, and now for the really reason why we're all here, the most exciting part of the meeting. Mr. Shane Strubart, would you please make your way to the podium? And let's start off with letting us know who the PTSA Students of the Month are for April and May.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight, ACISD would like to recognize our April and May City Council PTA Students of the Month from Harlingen High School, Harlingen High School South, and ECHS High Schools with a video interviews.
I'm Devin Sanchez. I'm in the 11th grade and I go to Harlingen High School. I'm currently in HOSA, UIL. I'm also the president of the junior class. I'm in NHS. I also currently in FCA, and outside of school I go to Field 7 as my youth organization outside. I'm very involved in that. I have a Harlingen track team, a Harlingen soccer team that I'm currently an assistant coach in, and so that's where a lot of my time goes to.
Hi, my name is Faith Parrish. I'm a junior and I go to Harlingen High School. I'm in cheerleading. I'm an officer for FCA. I'm very involved in Anchored Student Ministries church.
I learned a lot of leadership and how to control and be able to lead people to do these things. I learned a lot of time, like essence, what to do with my time. I've learned a lot of it's a lot of pressure, so I've learned to be able to calm myself, not stress a lot, and it's helped me a lot throughout all of these organizations and to be able to cope my time and just enjoy high school.
I've learned leadership and responsibility about attending meetings on time and helping lead others.
I'm really passionate about just the future, like everything that's going on. I go to church a lot, so I'm really passionate about my church. I love my church, everybody who's in it. They've been able to help me go through all these things that I'm in, and it just helps me like to be able to go to them, and I'm really passionate about being involved in my church and stuff.
I'm passionate about my church family and my blood family because I think it's important to have a close-knit relationship with every single one of them.
I want to major in pharmaceutical and minor in business, and I plan to attend U of H or Baylor.
I'm planning on graduating next December and hopefully attending A&M. I want to major in business.
I'm Jared Shinneman. I'm a senior, and I attend Harlingen High School South. I'm in NHS, NTHS, DECA, top 10%. I'm also an Eagle Scout. I participate in my church youth group.
My name is Rochelle Rodriguez. I'm a senior at Harlingen High School South. I was a member of the National Technical Honor Society. I've been a PTSA member for 4 years. I was a freshman cheerleader as well as a varsity cheerleader. I was involved in FFA. I also managed the boys basketball team for 4 years. I'm part of the Lower Valley Cotillion Club. I tutor on my free time, and I also volunteer with my youth group at my church.
Being in all these organizations, I've learned how to lead and be led. Well, being in the Boy Scouts, you have to go through an ordeal. You have to lead a project, and that's how you get your Eagle Scout rank. And then I've also learned how to be led because I've been in NHS and NTHS where I wasn't gifted the opportunity to be the president and vice president, so I've had to follow the leader. I've also been the vice president of DECA, so I helped lead that organization.
I learned leadership skills, and I've also learned that it's great to volunteer your time to help others, and that making the world a better place it's something that everyone should do.
I love sports. I've always been a part of sports, but I like family and being around other people, and I honestly just like seeing other people happy. That brings me happiness.
I'm very, very passionate about helping others. I was raised to learn to put others before myself, and by doing that, I received this amazing feeling that I'm, bettering the place.
I'm going to attend UTRGV, and I'm one of the cooperative pharmacy program students, and I will be attending UTRGV for 2 years, then they'd send me to UT for 2, then I'd come back down for my last 2 years.
I plan to attend the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley, where I'll major in chemistry. Then I plan to attend med school, where then I will become a pediatrician and hopefully help those here in the Valley.
Norma Tel Salas, 12th grade, Early College High School. I was in the robotics club 3 years in a row since my sophomore year. I volunteer at a local daycare here every day after school and in the summer. Oh, I'm a senior mentor also, and I help out with freshman orientations.
My name is Selena Chavez. I'm a 12th grader at Early College High School. Right now, since I have a child, I don't do much, but the earlier things I used to do were more along the lines of varsity orchestra, UIL with prose and poetry. I was a youth leader, I did vacation Bible school, and I would help out the nursery at my church.
I've learned a lot of leadership skills. I've learned how to speak in public. I've learned how to deal with people who have differences than I do, and overall it's been a great experience these past 4 years.
I've learned that teamwork can be difficult, but it is key to a lot of things to get done, and that you being dependent on someone else shows you that other people depend on you as well, and it's important to understand that.
I love art. It's my passion. I do it almost every day. I could spend like 8 hours on a drawing and just not get tired. I've always done it since I was little. It's just always been a big thing of mine, and I'm kind of known around the school for it.
I'm passionate about my daughter and the love I have for her. Everything I do and I say is for her, and she makes everything completely worth it, and hard times are much easier because of her.
I'm going to attend St. Edward's University in the fall in Austin, and I am planning to study social work along with art therapy.
After graduation, I plan to go to UT RGV and most likely get my degree in education and focus more on elementary school ages and kids who are in the special needs program.
My name is Aaron Balboa, and I'm a junior at Harlingen High School. Inside school, I'm a member of the Harlingen High School band program. Outside of school, I'm a member of the Harlingen Community Band, and I attend First Baptist Church, and I'm real big with the youth ministries.
My name's Connor Hull, and I'm a junior at HHS. Youth Leadership Harlingen, National Honor Society. I'm a treasurer in National Technical Honor Society and PTSA.
For band, I've learned a lot of lessons. I've learned leadership, I've learned responsibility, and I've learned that hard work and efficient work can get you wherever you need to be, and it makes you successful no matter what you do.
Well, I really learned how to manage my time well, and I learned a lot about leadership skills.
I'm really passionate about music because it expresses, feelings that I don't really talk about as much. I like to just express myself in the music and whatnot.
I'm passionate about probably English. I really love English. It's my favorite subject. Probably the writing portion is my favorite part. I really love writing.
After graduation, I plan on attending the University of North Texas in Denton, and I plan on majoring in music education.
Well, I'd like to attend Vanderbilt University, and I'd like to major in probably business.
My name is Natalie Ledma, and I am a senior here at Harlingen South. Inside of school, I am a member of National Honor Society, National Technical Honor Society, secretary for Student Council, and I am secretary for the Superintendent Student Advisory Board.
My name is Carly Hager, and I'm a senior at Harlingen South High School. I am in the varsity orchestra. I'm also a part of NHS and PTSA.
I've learned a lot of how to manage my time, how to be a leader in and out of school, how to just pretty much be involved and give up my time to help others in need.
Especially from orchestra, I've learned that practice doesn't always make perfect, and you need to set long-term goals and work every day to achieve those.
I think I'm passionate about the future, as in I'm excited to see what's in store for me and what things are to come and what other obstacles I'm going to face.
I really enjoy playing the violin. It's really helped me learn how to express myself, and I enjoy it.
After graduation, I plan to attend Texas A&M University in College Station, where I plan to major in mechanical engineering.
I'm going to attend Texas A&M this coming fall, and I plan to major in biomedical science. And after that, I plan to attend vet school and hopefully become a veterinarian.
My name's Anthony McIntosh, and I'm a senior, and I go to Early College High School. Inside of school, I'm president of FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, and I'm parliamentarian for National Honor Society. And outside of school, the main organization I participate in is the Boy Scouts of America.
I'm Darian Galavis, and I attend Early College High School. In school, I'm an office aide. I help the staff in there with whatever work they need. And I'm also a teacher's assistant, so I go ahead and help the teachers out. Outside of school, I volunteer at our place of worship.
The most important lesson I've learned from all three organizations is just, if I want something to get done, I have to do it myself. When you have responsibilities, you have to get them done with your own time and your own means. And you can't rely on other people to do your work for you.
What I've learned are communication skills. In the office, when I have to answer phone calls, I have to know to smile when answering the phones. And also, being organized is also something I've learned. And so I'm organized myself.
I'm passionate about learning new things, I guess because I'm curious. I think there's a lot to learn, and I just find an enjoyment out of it.
My passion, I would say, would be helping people. I really enjoy it, and just knowing that I'm helping somebody and they feel relieved or with whatever matter they need help in, and I help them, it makes me happy knowing that I help them.
I'm going to UT Austin, and I'm going to McCombs Business College to get an undergraduate in business administration.
I'm planning to attend UT RGV, and the studies I want to go into are pharmacy, and also my second option is dentistry.
So I'd just like to note that the 4 students of the month from ECHS that were featured here tonight graduated from TSDC on May 1st. So I think that deserves a round of applause. At this time, I would like to ask all the students of the month that are here tonight, would you please stand and be recognized? I would also like the parents to stand if you're here tonight. Mr. President, would y'all do us the honor of taking a group photo with these students?
Sure, let's do it.
Students, would you please come forward for a group photo?
Okay, so now for another exciting agenda item. This is a tradition that Dr. Cavazos started last year, and we're continuing it this year and forever, hopefully. And so, Mr. Strubart, would you please do us the honor of recognizing the Harlingen High School South, and Early College High School top 10 students.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, trustees, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight, we recognize the outstanding academic achievements of our top 10 students from Harlingen High School South, and Early College High School. Their top 10 standing reflects 4 years of hard work and their dedication to maintaining high academic standards while also remaining active in campus organization. We congratulate these students on their achievements and look forward to seeing them at the district's commencement ceremonies on May 29th and May 30th. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, will you please come forward to help us recognize these outstanding students? Tonight, the students are going to receive a certificate as well as a photo of their top 10 billboard and a DVD of the interview that they had with Dr. Cavazos. Students, when I call your name, would you please come forward? From Harlingen High School, valedictorian Justin McManus. Salutatorian Haley Ponce. Ashley Garza. Savannah Butters. Accepting on behalf of Savannah tonight is her mom, Debbie Butters. Savannah Canales. Alexis Garza. Miles Rosenbaum. Garland Byram. Kelly Fleurier. And Meredith Kuykendall. Okay, this time I'd like to take a group photo.
She's just turned 21. So you gotta mark. Stay up.
Parents, students, all of the photos that were taken tonight will be uploaded this evening on our website. So just hit the photos link on the website. So if you don't get a chance to take a photo, you can get them on the website tonight. So from Harlingen High School South, valedictorian John Fraga. Salutatorian Joshua Anderson. Rida Bulls. Later. Matthew Ringianu. Christopher Inahosa. Brittany Meeks. Emily Susan. Christopher Cavazos. That is Dr. Cavazos' son, by the way. Ivan Trevino Jr. And Shelby Blunt.
I think I saw Greg crying because he didn't want to give up the person. Is he still crying? Enjoyed it. I think he's relieved.
Now for Early College High School, our valedictorian is Anthony McIntosh. Anthony was unable to make it this evening. Our salutatorian, Graciela Gomez. Graciela was unable to make it this evening. Anissa Martinez. Ryan Valdez. Alyssa Gonzalez. Thomas Yates. Alexandra Velasquez. Emma Medellin. Lauren Guerrero. And Brenda Garcia.
Yes. If we have any parents and family members of our top 10 amazing students. Would you please stand to be recognized? Any parents? Awesome. Congratulations. We know the students aren't the only ones making the sacrifice, and obviously without your high expectations, none of this would be possible. So I'm sure the board members have some comments.
Mr. President.
Mrs. Fleury.
Thank you very much. It is an honor to have everyone here for every board member, every board meeting that we have. But this is a very special meeting. For those of us on the board, this is the most important meeting of the year because we have the opportunity to recognize the students who have worked the hardest, stayed up the longest hours, sacrificed the most, and set your goals so high for 4 years that you have arrived here this evening. And we are so proud of you that words cannot express the feelings that we have of respect and honor, and what a privilege it is to know you, and what a privilege it is to be in your families. So, to all of the families who are here tonight, thank you so much for the dedication and the support and the unending love that you have shown these children. And for these young people from all 3 campuses, may we say to you, good luck and vaya con Dios. You will always have a home in Harlingen, and you will forever be in our hearts. Congratulations. We're very proud of you.
Thank you, Mrs. Fleury. Well said. So now we'll go on to our next recognition. Mr. Strubart, you make your way to the dais, please. Now we are, new tradition this year, we're going to recognize the 2014-2015 HCISD Teachers of the Year. Mrs. Strubart.
Thank you, Mr. Board President, trustees, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. The greatest institution for social change is the public school system, and the greatest instrument of change is the teacher. No other democracy created by man to promote the welfare of all people has ever existed. Our schools and our teachers have always been the catalyst for human progress. Here at HCISD are the very finest teachers impacting the lives of over 18,000 students each and every day. It gives us great honor to recognize 29 of HCISD's very best tonight. The Teacher of the Year award is given to educators that continue to go above and beyond for our students and work towards preparing our students for global achievement. The teachers we're going to recognize this evening have a great degree of responsibility as they now represent and embody the beliefs and ideals of teachers from their campus and our district. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, will you please come forward and help us recognize these outstanding educators? Beginning with our Elementary Teachers of the Year, from Austin Elementary, Karen Garza. From Bowie Elementary, Sarah Hayward. From Crockett Elementary, Imelda Obregon. From Dishman Elementary, Rosalva Vela. From Houston Elementary, Lisa Padron. From Jefferson Elementary, Sess Weich. You can tell these principals were pretty proud. From Lamar Elementary, Erica Campos. From Lee Means Elementary, Rick Zuniga. From Long Elementary, Debbie Davila. From Milam Elementary, Brenda Garza. That's bad. From Rodriguez Elementary, Monica Alvarado. From Stewart Place Elementary, Hilda O'Donohue. From Travis Elementary, Michelle Rojas. From Treasure Hills Elementary, Belinda Ayala. From Wilson Elementary, Robin Valle. From Zavala Elementary, Josue Cano Jr. And representing her campus as well as our entire district as the 2015-2016 District Elementary Teacher of the Year from Bonham Elementary, Miss Amanda Zuniga. Amanda Zuniga was inspired to pursue teaching after experiencing firsthand the positive impact that a teacher could have in a student's life in 4th grade. A Harlingen High School South graduate, Zuniga began her career at HCISD in 2004 as a paraprofessional at the Treasure Hills Elementary campus. There she received the opportunity to further her education and fulfill her dreams of becoming a teacher through a paraprofessional financial assistance program. After becoming the first in her family to graduate from college, she began her teaching career at Bonham Elementary. Zuniga strives to make learning fun and memorable for her students through the use of technology, hands-on lessons, and a collaborative learning environment. Moving on to our secondary campuses, from Coakley Middle School, Todd Abraham. From Gutierrez Middle School, Daniel Sanchez. I saw that. Why don't y'all do a fun? You want to get a photo? You want to get a photo real quick before we move on? We'll have him swear in Nick. Memorial Middle School, Rebecca Britton. I'm sorry. I tried. From Vela Middle School, Elvira Sanchez. There's a video. From Vernon Middle School, Christina Torres. It is a long walk, isn't it? From Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy, Monica Moran. From Harlingen School of Health Professions, Erica Elizondo. From Early College High School, Isabel Jimenez. From Harlingen High School, Veronica Hunt. From Keys Academy, Onita Trevino. And from the Secondary Alternative Center, Azriel Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez was unable to join us this evening. Representing her campus as well as our entire district for the 2015-2016 District Secondary Teacher of the Year from Harlingen High School South, Miss Deborah Bond. Deborah Vaughn has been an educator for 39 years. Growing up, her family considered learning to be an ongoing and valued experience, oftentimes turning ordinary life experiences into lessons about geography, science, or literature. Understanding the complexity of the role of an educator through her junior high teacher, Vaughn desired to become a source of encouragement the same way her teacher had been for her. In her class, she reminds her students the world is a competitive place, so they must be prepared by working hard, and she emphasizes that teaching doesn't always come out of a book. So she's always on the lookout for those teachable moments in order to make every moment count. Congratulations all. At this time, I would like to invite the entire board forward for somehow take this big group photo. So, Sam, take it away, Sam.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna make 3 rows. Can I get you guys in the middle? Can you guys just slide down a little bit further? And can I bring, and can I bring the people that are in the skirt? Can you come on right on in? And then I'd like to place the board. Where are we gonna place the board? We're gonna put the board in the middle, right in the middle. I'm gonna climb up on a chair. Yeah. Okay. Right here.
He sits at home and hides.
Right about there. Let's see. Almost there. Almost there. Okay, perfect. Now all I need is for everybody just to come in just a little bit closer.
You're familiar.
Right there. Unfortunately, we cannot.
Just hold your award up.
Just a little bit. Yeah, just the award just a little bit higher right about here. There we go. Excellent. We squeezed everybody in. Just come in just a little bit more. Take one step that way. And we're going to take 2 sets of pictures for this. I'm going to take one big one, and then I'm actually going to break it up into sections here, here, and here for 3 separate pictures, and then I'm going to stitch them all together to make one big panorama. So, well, at least that's in theory. That's what I'm going to try to do. All right, here we go. All right, big smiles, everyone. On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, one more time. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now I'm going to do the individuals, okay? There you go. And please do not move, because in one picture you're like this, and then in the other picture you're like this. You're going to have like 3 noses. And all right, so here we go. Bring that in right there. And 1, 2, and 3. Okay, don't move, don't move. 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, and 3. Oh, somebody moved. Oh, okay, no, don't worry about it. We're okay. There you go. Okay, everybody, take your pictures.
If we can get our teachers to have a seat, the board would like to, I'm sure, like to say a few words before you leave.
Selfie.
Yes, please. The teachers, return to your seats, please.
Let me check it for you.
How much time?
Well, y'all can take it all depends on the president.
You realize your job has gotten a lot harder.
Yeah, you announce it. Yeah, you announce it. You announce it. Yes, yes, please.
No.
All right, if everyone take their seats. Just a quick announcement. The billboard that you see on the screen will go up the first week of June, and it should go up where HHS Top 10 billboard is now, next to Walgreens. And if there are any principals here tonight, would you please stand and be recognized? Mr. President.
Any, I am sure possibly a board member or two may have a comment. Anybody? No? Well, I will just say that, first of all, you teachers and principals, you're the reason for the inspiration for the students in the classroom. And I know the teaching is under an enormous amount of changing right now, the way the digital world we live in now. And I know it's a little challenging. But you guys are the cream of the crop, and you continue to inspire our students for amazing things, and not only learn from our students, but allow them to learn from you. And as we know now, teaching is not all, let me teach you everything I can. It's really, let me allow you to learn everything you can, right? And so you guys are amazing, cream of the crop. We're very proud of you. You reflect great credit on this district, and keep up the great work. I hope we see some of you back next year. Mrs. Fleury, sorry.
I would like to say one thing, and thank you, Nolan. He just always puts everything so succinctly and so beautifully. But I would be remiss if I didn't tell you a little story about my father, who lived, thank heaven, to be almost 100 years old. And I believe he was 98, Nolan, when he said to me, you know, there's some things I wish I could have done. And I said, Daddy, what on earth more could you have done for anyone? And he said, I wish I had gone back. You see, there was this third grade teacher. And I thought to myself, there always is in everyone's life. There was this teacher. Nolan Pettis tells us there was this chemistry teacher. That's the only reason I thought to become a doctor. There was a teacher. And so we thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for being the teachers that maybe when your students come to be more than 100 years old, they will think back and say, there was this teacher. And it goes both ways, because we had an administrator from Memorial come forward a few minutes ago and say, the winner tonight at Memorial was my student. So congratulations both ways. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. And we have a variety of professionals here. We have some attorneys and judges and doctors and all kinds of entrepreneurs. And just one last thought about teachers. Teachers make all other professions possible. So really, it's the most noble profession of them all. So thank you guys for what you do.
And Mr. President.
I'm sorry, Mr. McShann.
Hi. Just to reflect, when we think about education, you have superintendents, you have board members, we have administrators, support staff. Superintendent can get a day off. Board members can take a day off. But a teacher is on stage every day. And your audience are students. And those are your judges. So you all win the Academy Award. It's the teachers, not the superintendent, not the board members. We're so proud of you for being role models. All of us sit here today because it was someone who inspired us, obviously our parents, our first teacher, but then it's the teacher in the classroom. And I can think back of the pride that those who were fortunate enough to be in your class will see you, and you see them calling, you see it now. You were my teacher back so many years ago, and you made a difference in my life. That's the democracy that we live in, and thanks, teachers, for being a champion for humankind. Thank you.
Okie doke. We'll now go to our next item on the agenda, approval of minutes. I'm sure the board members have had an opportunity to peruse the minutes.
I'll make a motion for approval as recommended by administration.
I second the motion.
Motion, Mr. De Leon, second by Jerry Fleury for the approval of minutes, April 14th, 2015 regular board meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next, approval of the consent calendar. Unless there are, I know we've had a chance to look at that. Unless there are any specific questions about any item on the consent calendar, I'll entertain a motion at this time.
President, I move approval of the consent calendar.
Motion by Mr. McShann.
Second.
Second by Mr. De Leon. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Next item on the agenda is our principal's report. Our principal of Crockett Elementary School, Mr. Juan Manuel Garcia, would you please make your way to the podium, my friend, and we are eagerly await your report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board of Trustees, Superintendent, Dr. Cavazos, and Superintendent staff. It's my honor to present to you tonight on a historical night. Congratulations to the board. I would like to begin our presentation with a focus of Goal 3 as our strategic plan illustrates, which states that we will improve the learning experience by using data that measures all students' weaknesses and strengths in order to address their curricular needs. This district goal relates to our work at Crockett Elementary because it gives our administration, teachers, and students the opportunity to promote progress, monitoring for a world-class environment. Our improvement cycle begins with data. Teachers begin to analyze data such as benchmarks, DCAs, and common formative assessments. During their professional learning communities, it is at this point that our teachers begin to plan for a common lesson that will yield high performance. This type of data also helps us in determining appropriate resources, time, and personnel to utilize with the needs of our students' strengths and weaknesses. Implementation of the instruction then determines the need for intervention or acceleration. We believe that progress monitoring and identifying the strengths and weaknesses of all learners allows us to intervene and accelerate the instruction earlier in our students' academic school year. I will now present a video presentation of Goal 3 as it pertains to our campus.
Crockett Elementary has been using data for many, many years, but what we've begun to do is to actually implement the data walls in such a fashion that we as a whole entire campus can begin to understand that whole process of how kids are progressing through their knowledge and their learning and so forth. In addition to using the data for that given purpose to see the progression, it allows us as a team of teachers and collaborators to look individually at students and then also to look at the classrooms and those given grade levels. If you'll take, for instance, this data here for pre-K, we're looking at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, and the end of the year data. And by looking at that given data, it helps us as a campus to target those specific skills and needs of the students. We not only use it in our pre-K, we also use it in our kinder population, and our first grade, and also our second grade populations. The reason why this data wall is so important to us is because it helps us to really pinpoint and target those learning needs of the students. In addition to that, the foundational years of pre-K and kinder allow us to go ahead and jumpstart what else we need to put into place for the upcoming tested years. Once again, the lower grade levels incorporate the usage of data to pinpoint those specific areas. Well, we go ahead and we take it to our upper tested grade levels in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. As you'll see here, we have a color-coded chart here. Yellow being 80 to 100% range, that's the highest possible, we like those yellows. Then you have your blue with 79 to 60% range, and the orange 59% to 40%, and then finally the pink 39 and lower. And as you can see with some of our charts, we have some that are in the pink, but in the course of time what has happened with great teaching and superior instruction and kids really doing what's expected of them, you'll see the color changes going from the pink zone to the orange and blues and yellows. Take a look, for instance, please, at our 3rd grade data here. And you'll see the progression. We have our benchmark scores that are included there. And we also have our benchmark for benchmark number 1 and number 2. And then we've broken it down. We have the overall population score. Then we've also done the SPED population, the bilingual population, migrant population, and GT populations. We wanted to see those and see how they change over the course of time too. I would like to just go ahead and emphasize one particular grade level because I'm really liking the results that have come out from this given data. It just proves that good instruction and students really learning and doing exactly what the teachers have taught them, it's actually evidenced in the data itself. As we look here at the beginning of the year, you have the different categories of phonemic awareness, graphophonemic awareness, and also listening comprehension. In the beginning of the year, you'll see a lot of pinks and some oranges and some blues and so forth. And as it progresses onward in those same given categories, you see them moving from a 21% to 85% in the middle of the year, and at the end of the year, it's a 93%. Once again, just simply scanning all these different categories and going back and forth, lots of pinks and oranges and so forth, but by the end of the school year, look at the efforts of the teachers and the students and how it's evidenced in the data. We're going to take this now and go ahead and push it forward to our 1st grade, our 2nd grade, and our 3rd grade. Once again, pre-K and kinder are those foundational years, and it helps to get us jump-started for future success in our upcoming tested grade levels as well.
One of the many valuable tools that we utilize here at Crockett are our data walls, as you can see behind me. The purpose for this initiative is to encourage our young scholars to become self-monitors, to set new goals for upcoming benchmarks for DCAs, and to also have a visual representation of their success and track their goals. Okay, they can chart their own goal and their growth. It's also important to note that because there's grades involved, students' names are kept confidential. Therefore, they're assigned another names, which can be numbers, animal names, pet names, or whichever name that they select or they prefer. In this case, we decided to use animal names, and we have dog, bunnies, dolphins, and of course, a Crockett bear. This tool is not only important for students, it's a very important tool also for teachers. Teachers who already know their students very well can identify, just by glancing at this chart, they can identify whether a student is at grade level, below grade level, or above grade level, and also identify whether it's affecting only one subject, are they struggling with the two or all three, all across, and they can plan accordingly. Another way this chart can assist teachers is by grouping students heterogeneously so they can help each other, and also when it comes to planning for that differentiated instruction, for tutoring, for student-teacher conferences, and for many other reasons. We also have the STAR chart, which is a tool that we also use here, and it's to make students aware of what it takes to be a level 2 performer and a level 3 performer, how many questions are going to be in the STAR, and how many questions they need to master in order to make a level 3, and how many questions need to be mastered to get a level 2 performer. With that in mind and charting their success, Crockett Bears will become winners.
In conclusion, we're very proud of our recent fifth grade reading results. We attribute that success to our ability to progress monitor all students and to focus on their strengths and weaknesses. Crockett Elementary is looking forward to embarking on a new district initiative by utilizing iStation as a sole progress monitoring tool that will track all students from pre-kinder to fifth grade. This is not done by myself. Behind me, I have a crew. I'd like to introduce them at this time. My assistant principal, Rebecca Rodriguez. Our facilitator, Dr. Elisa Irby. Our teacher of the year, along with your significant other, Imelda Obregon. I would like now to open any comments or any questions from the board.
Board members, any questions or comments?
I'd just like to say that this is an excellent presentation. Thank you for teaching the lesson, Dr. Irby and the teacher. Data is so important. When we think about Crockett, where it is, but socioeconomically, we know that children come to us with a lot of challenges, but you're starting out early on, identifying where students are. And we showed that chart as to where they were starting out the first, I guess, month of school and where they are now. That is really remarkable. And as board members, that's important for us to know. And we appreciate you all teaching us about, you talk about data walls, and I know Dr. Nayola here, she would tell us about this, but when we see the practical application of what's really happening in the classroom, that means a great deal to a board, because we can communicate that to the public as to what is really happening in our classrooms, at our campuses, and in our district. Well done. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I would just like to reflect that in attending a state conference several years ago, I went to the elementary and the secondary of the presentations, and they were explaining what they were doing, the one thing they were doing that was making the biggest difference. And in each case, what they were doing is exactly what you're presenting. And I'm so proud and so happy to see that. And I want to thank Lori. I'm sure that she had a role in this as well. And certainly Dr. Noyola. We are really on the right track. I think if there's any one thing that shows how we're transforming, it's not really so much the equipment that we're using, but it's what we're doing in the classrooms. And this technique right here may just be what takes us over the top. So I want to say thank you very much. It was really, really exciting to see that this is being done. I also appreciated the fact that as you disaggregated the groups, you included the GT, because I think that's a group that sometimes is left behind. So thank you very much. Well done.
I would also like to say, my comment is this. We heard recently about our plans for expansion and transformation of our pre-K education. And so imagine, with what you're doing now, imagine the more prepared students you're going to get in the future once this comes to fruition. So, I just can't imagine the results the impact on student achievement that's going to have to really build that foundation. It's so strong and starting in pre-K like that. And so just imagine, Mr. Garcia, in the future, the students you're going to be getting, kindergarten, first and second. We know that at the third grade level, if students aren't mastering literacy and if they're not at grade level at the third grade, they only have a 10% chance of being college or career ready, when they graduate. So means a lot. So thanks, great presentation. Keep up what you're doing. Kudos to you and Doc, all of you, just wonderful staff there. So great job.
I also like to recognize my former mentor who's here supporting me, Mr. Manuel Olivo.
Be careful, sir. He's got contracts. So. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great job. Next item is public comments. Did anybody sign up for comments? Yeah. Okay. Next is matters related to curriculum instruction. Approval of out-of-state trip for Harlingen High School Jazz Ensemble to perform at the International Band and Orchestra Clinic in Chicago, Illinois in December 2015. None other than Mr. Ronnie Rios in the house.
Good evening, Dr. Cavazos, Mr. President, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen. I stand in front of you here tonight to seek approval for an out-of-state trip for the Harlingen High School Jazz Ensemble to perform at the Midwest Clinic. It's an international band and orchestra clinic held annually in Chicago, Illinois. It'll be this December 16th through 19th, 2015. Professor Strupart here has put together very timely. Just got this 60-second video for all of us to get an idea of what this event actually is. Oh, the play button.
The professor sat down, Ronnie.
Prematurely.
There you go.
Wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. And if Plato is not in your key, Bono from U2 says music can change the world because it can change people. Music and its influence on society is everywhere, and there's one event that has been helping shape that influence for well over 60 years. The Midwest Clinic brings together an exciting cross-section of the music industry and community for everyone to share, learn, and collaborate while honing in their skills as musicians, educators, and vendors of the musical arts. Beginners and professionals, young and old, students and teachers. The 17,000 people attending annually in downtown Chicago are part of the unparalleled exposure to true icons of music and a wide-ranging education the conference provides. Whether you're looking to improve your playing skills or further refine your teaching repertoire, come join the collaboration at the Midwest Clinic and get in tune with your passion.
I can tell you that the process of getting accepted to perform at the Midwest Clinic is extremely arduous, and that's an understatement. They choose 40 concerts or musical groups from all over the world, and we have been denied many times. I've gotten my Dear John letter many times, but I never gave up. I wanted to get these students on the international stage. We were there in 2003 before, and I can tell you that through social media and the way these former students stay in touch, that is something that they have remembered since then and will probably remember for the rest of their lives, is that performance downtown Chicago in 2003. So this one, I'm sure, will be no doubt, hopefully even bigger, better. We're a little bit older and hopefully make some wiser decisions in programming and so forth, and things to do with our students. But it's a clinic like no other. It puts us on the international stage, which is just amazing, and we're very proud of our students. And we were one of 2 high schools throughout the world to be chosen at the high school level. So we're very proud of that.
Do I hear a motion?
Do I get to make a motion for Verna? May I please make the motion? Mrs. Young had to leave, and I know she would want to make this motion, Ronnie. But we're all proud of you, and I would like to move approval of the out-of-state trip for Harlingen High School Jazz Ensemble to perform at the International Band and Orchestra Clinic in Chicago, Illinois. Wow, 2 in the world.
Motion by Mrs. Fourier.
Second.
Second by Mr. Powers. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Yeah, I just want to
Aye.
say that.
I'm sorry.
You know,
Mr. McShane.
Mr. Rios, you're an icon. The lives that you lead, and with your team, it's really remarkable. I was someplace a couple of weeks ago, and this young man said, "You, Mr. McShane, right?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I played for the National School Board Conference in 2005 in Orlando, Florida, when your jazz ensemble band performed before 8,000 people." And that young man said that really was such an experience. You know, that's just one example. And that was, my goodness, that was 10 years ago. And the impact that music, the fine arts, make on students is something that changes lives forever. So we really appreciate you doing this. We know you started in 1995. I remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember this guy who was just holding up good. But I just want to make that comment. We really appreciate what you do.
Mr. Powers?
I just want to applaud you. I think it's wonderful how you seek out these opportunities for our students. This is remarkable. It's to your credit. I'm a strong believer that you're never going to get better unless you're challenged by those that are as good or better. And I think exposing these kids to this is phenomenal. The experience of the trip, too, is phenomenal. But that's why your group is always at the top. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Excellent. We have a motion on the floor. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. Awesome.
Good luck. Thank you.
Good job.
Next item, Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee Report. Dr. Cavazos.
Yes, and by the way, Ronnie needs a couple of chaperones, so board members, if you... No.
I think we have some volunteers in the audience.
Overruled. Mrs. Munives, thank you for being here as well. Thank you for the work you do. At our Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee meeting, Mr. President, board members, staff, and audience, there were 2 agenda items, and it's hard to believe that the strategic plan was adopted almost a little over 14 months ago. And so we gave a strategic plan update year 1. Dr. Alicia Noyola, my chief academic officer, highlighted the fact that throughout the last 14 months, with the support, the vision, and the leadership of the board, we were able to launch over 26 action ideas surrounding the specific result statements and the goals set forth by the strategic plan. Those action ideas were kind of highlighted today in the pre-K expansion, the iStations conversation, and so also the way we now acquire talent in the district. And so Dr. Noyola's comments in that item highlighted the fact that although the action ideas have been launched, fidelity to implementation is critical, and measuring the outcome of the action ideas is also critical. The second item presented was on early literacy, and the focus there was on a single assessment instrument to ensure that we're measuring what we expect beginning at pre-K. And so Carmen Alvarez and Susan Salinas, members of the design team, led by Lori Romero, my administrator for elementary, presented that we're moving on with the iStations program that allows for intervention and acceleration of students as they measure their progress throughout the year. This will give us a measuring point throughout the progress of students, and I want to thank Lori Romero for her work in this area and the fact that that design team took serious the specific results statement of identifying that single assessment where we can measure the progress of students. So those 2 items were presented. Again, it's hard to believe that it's 14 months into our 3 to 5 year strategic plan. Dr. Perez, you have been the chair of this committee, and I appreciate your leadership. We understand that you're now the board president, and we'll be naming a committee chair for this committee. But thank you for your leadership in this area, and I turn it over to you to add any comments on the committee meeting.
Well, thank you, Dr. Cavazos. I just want to say again, you know, the impressive pace of as you say, fidelity to the strategic plan. The 8 design teams have been busy at work, doing some amazing things, 26 action items, and we already see a lot of it coming in to full-fledged and impacting the classrooms. And so very exciting, and I like how you sort of tag along the principal's report sort of in a timely fashion, just as we discuss iStation and our early literacy initiatives. So that's very, very appropriate and timely. But I can tell you that we appreciate as a board you bringing these, to our committee level and allowing the board to share in this space of the important work that you and your team are doing. And I just can't thank you enough for that, because it means a lot to us, and it allows us to be better ambassadors for the school district. And again, kudos to Dr. Noyola and all your, Cortan and Lori. I mean, just amazing work you guys are doing. It's really exciting for the next meeting as well. So with that, we'll move on to the next item, matters related to business services. Consideration and approval of an order by the Board of Trustees of the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District authorizing the issuance of Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District Unlimited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2015, levying a continuing direct annual ad valorem tax for the payment of bonds, prescribing the form, terms, conditions, and the resolving of other matters incident and related to the issuance, sale, and delivery of the bonds, including the approval and distribution of an official statement pertaining thereto, authorizing the execution of a paying agent registrar agreement, an escrow deposit letter, and a purchase contract, complying with the letter of representations on file with the depository trust company, delegating the authority to certain members of the Board of Trustees and district staff to execute certain documents relating to the sale of the bonds and providing an effective date. Mr. Julio Cavazos, would you please enlighten us?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Perez, Dr. Cavazos, board members. This agenda item is for the refund of the 2005 bonds. This is the approval of the order to refund the 2005 bonds as 2015 unlimited tax refunding bonds. It is also necessary to do all the items pertaining to the sale and delegating the authority to the superintendent or designee to execute certain documents relating to the sale of the bonds. We discussed this at our budget workshop. This is to refund those old bonds that we have, the 2005 bonds, to get a lower interest rate and take advantage of that. I'm glad to answer any questions that the board might have.
Any questions from the board?
President, I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee McShann and seconded by Trustee De Leon that the Board of Trustees adopt an order authorizing the issuance of obligations designated as Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District Unlimited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2015, pursuant to a delegated sale. Any discussion? I just want to ask one question. Would you please remind us again how much this is going to add to our balance sheet in terms of how much this is going to save the district?
This is, with the current interest rates the way they are right now, it should have a savings of a little bit over $8 million over the life of those bonds. So we're going to be saving about $8 million in interest over 14 years.
Excellent. Just want to get that out for the public to know. Thank you very much. Great work. We have a motion and a second. Barring any further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next item, matters related to district operations. Mr. Tapia, Facilities Committee report.
President Perez, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos and colleagues. We did have a Facilities Committee meeting on May 5th. Items discussed were status of the construction bond projects. We did talk about the Aquatic Center. Although we've moved in and accepted the building, there's still various items that are pending completion, so we went over in detail what those items were. We also discussed the status of the ornamental fencing that we're doing around the Aquatic Center and Boga Stadium to complete that fencing project. And we discussed various small projects, storage rooms, restroom, and pavilion additions to several campuses. We discussed project closeout that we'll be presenting here tonight for approval on final payment. Mr. Julio Cavazos gave an update on the construction financial report, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from board members? Mr. McShann?
Oh, yes, Dr. Pettis wanted to say that the Facility Committee meeting was very informative. The stakeholders were there, the architects, the construction project supervisor, And obviously, the aquatic center still dealing with the issue of getting the, those things that need to be completed. And I might ask, Mr. Tapia, any, completion, any issuance of, anything from the city in that regard yet?
No, not yet. The gentleman that presented the pending issues on the curtain wall with the pressure plates and all that, there was one last minor detail that our structural engineer did not approve for the windstorm certification. So they're having to keep making a final adjustment on trying to get that right before they can get final approval. So as of today, they still had not completed that.
We will continue to hold them accountable, and I know that Dr. Cavazos, you all are working with that. Want to make sure that with, I guess you might say, all due speed, we want to be able to get that project completed. Excellent facilities report, and Mr. Tapia covered additional things in the district that's being completed. We did that. So thank you very much for a good report.
Excellent. And thanks to you, Mr. McShann. Great job as committee chairman and really communicating with the board all of the issues. And again, Mr. Tapia as well, you've made a lot of difficult situations pretty smooth. So congratulations and keep up the great work. The next item, approval of final construction payment to FR Green Thumb Landscaping for the landscaping and irrigation project. Mr. Tapia.
Yes, Mr. Perez, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos. As I mentioned in my previous report, we have a final payment to FR Green Thumb Landscaping for the completion of several school landscaping with sprinkler irrigation systems. The project has been completed. The landscape architect has completed their punch list, and the final payment is in the amount of $10,948.93. Policy does require board approval before we release final payment, so administration is recommending approval of final payment.
President, I move approval of final payment.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McShann, second by Mr. Powers. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next item, adjournment to close or executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.082, the Open Meetings Act, the Opens Meeting Act, for the following purposes. A, discuss termination of probationary contract teacher at the end of 2014-2015 school year, KA. B, discuss recommendations regarding employment of the renewal of administrator contracts for probationary term and other contract employment for 2015-2016. C, discuss recommendations regarding employment of the renewal of educators and professional contracts for probationary term and other contract employment for 2014-2015. And D, discuss employment of teachers and other professional staff. We are now in executive session. There will be no action taken on this item. For agenda item 17B, do I hear a motion that the board renew the probationary term and non-chapter 21 employment contracts for administrators as recommended by administration, and that the board employ those employees under the appropriate corresponding contract for the 2015-2016 school year as discussed in executive session?
President, I move that the board renew the probationary term and non-chapter 21 employment contracts for administrators as recommended by administration, and that the board employ those employees under the appropriate corresponding contract for the 2015-2016 school year as discussed in executive session.
I second the motion.
Motion by Mr. McShann, second by Mrs. Fleury. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 17C. Do I hear a motion that the board renew the probationary term and non-chapter 21 employment contracts for teachers and other professionals as recommended by administration, and that the board employ those employees under the appropriate corresponding contract for the 2015-2016 school year as discussed in executive session?
Mr. President, I move that the board renew the probationary term and non-chapter 21 employment contracts for teachers and other professionals as recommended by administration, and that the board employ these employees under the appropriate corresponding contract for 2015-2016 school year as discussed in executive session.
Mr. President, I second the motion.
Motion by Mr. Powers, second by Mr. Valion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. And we have 17D, consider employment of teachers and other professional staff. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval.
Motion for approval?
A second.
Motion for approval of employment of teachers and other professional staff as recommended by administration. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Meeting is adjourned.